Well, Mikki, thank you. I really appreciate you sitting down with us this morning. Why don't we just hear from you a little bit about yourself and your organization, and we'll just start from there.
Perfect. Well, first, thank you for having me. Really appreciate the invitation and having the opportunity to talk with you today. So my name is Mikki Bertot Galloway. I am CHRO at Enterprise, not the car rental place, but Enterprise Community Partners. However, we just go by Enterprise at this point. And we are the largest nonprofit organization for affordable housing. Been there for about 15 months, but I've been in HR for, oh my gosh, 30 plus years, which is hard for me to say.
So you started when you were a year.
I did, actually. I did. Maybe two. Maybe it was two. But yeah, it's been close to 30 years now, and have kind of just worked my way up in the various positions within HR. And so I love it. And so here I am.
Awesome. Well, we are so grateful to have you part of the community. And it was, as you and I were just talking about, it was just shortly into COVID when you became a member. And what was it, I know you've got tons of communities and there's all different ways to interact and engage out there and knowledge share with peers. But what was it that was of an interest to you about Connex?
Yeah, so I think Connex is really unique, right? In that, yes, there's the other organizations and you have your peer forums and so forth, but what I found to be beneficial is that there was a connection point on things that you really, real life problems that were happening kind of that you were working on, whether it was the strategy or an initiative, or just things that were coming up in your day in and day out HR life, where Connex was able to say, you know what, I think we know somebody that might be able to help you solve that issue or has expertise or experience in that, and let me do the connection. Where, again, I can't speak for everybody, but my LinkedIn gets inundated with all of these like sales, $250 free Amazon cart, like all of these different incentives to try to connect. And I don't have the time to, and I don't mean that in a very arrogant way. It's just everyone's coming at you, multiple times. And so you get to the point where you have to put a block on, even LinkedIn. Whereas this was much more personable. You were able to explain really kind of with Andrew has been my point of contact, kind of what are the things that I'm working with. And then he pretty much went and did all the legwork and said, make sure I understood what you needed. Am I hearing you correctly? And then let me put you in touch with people who might be able to help you in organizations. And so to me, that's just been so much time saved in being able to move the business forward and be able to address issues that I've had. And to me, that's very unique offering that I haven't found anybody else that offers that same type of connectivity.
And so with Connex, again, to your point, we're really trying to make sure that we meet your specific needs. And so that's diverse, right? Whether it's, maybe we'll start with that peer-to-peer engagement. What do you find most valuable with the peer-to-peer part of the Connex relationship?
Oh, wow. I'm not even sure where to start there, right? Well, just even in the session that we've had today, it's been, I've made a lot of connections with people who are actually either have done the exact same thing that I'm working on right now. That is a really challenging not challenging is not the right word, but it's a transformation that can bring, it's change, right? And change isn't always easy. And so I've met now with others that have actually already done the exact same body of work that I'm working on, and are much further along. Like, we're running parallel lives. They're just 18 months ahead of me, right? And so I'm able to learn from them and say, okay, what are the things do I need to stay away from? What are the things I need to be really paying attention to? And so that piece has just been invaluable. And so, and others have come to me and said the same thing, like, hey, listen, we're thinking about doing that, or any tips that you have for me? And I'm like, oh yeah, stay away from this. Like, if there was one thing I would advise you, stay away from this. And so that's been really great. And then also just the personal interaction and the mentorship, right? And so there are people here at different levels, all pretty senior, but there's been, conversations with individuals on where do they want their career to go, or they're like, you know what, I want to be a CHRO next, like what should I be focusing on? Or I don't want to be a CHRO next, but I want to be a VP, what should I do, right? And so just having those really authentic conversations of like, this is what I did. I don't know if that will work for you, but in my experience, right, this is what I think you might want to think about focusing on. And so that's been really nice to do as well. Just feeling like you're adding value to somebody and helping them in their career growth.
After all, you are HR people. You are driven to do that, aren't you?
Right. Yes, it just kind of happens naturally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what about, how much of the online community have you taken advantage of?
Early on, much more. Recently, not too much. And honestly, it's just due to time and capacity, right? But I should do that much more. That's something I need to work on because I know it's there.
Yeah. Well, it's, again, what's great about what you just said is early on there was maybe more need, and your time and bandwidth you do have to allocate relative to what's going on in your world right now, and that's what we look to do. We don't want to push on you, hey, come to this online think tank or session. It's there for you as just one of the value adds, right? So, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, and what's great is it's so vast too, so no matter what it is, there's something that's always coming up that's relevant, right? Yeah. You're like, oh, I was just talking about that. I almost feel like, somebody's hearing it, and all of a sudden I get an invite, like, oh, we're talking about AI. I'm like, oh my God, I was just talking about that. Yeah. So yeah, I love there's so many different topics that come up in different sessions that you can attend.
Yeah. And maybe if you could then pivot over to the other side, and that is, to your point, you got to shut down LinkedIn, and you probably don't even want to open up your email in the morning because thousands of emails are flooded and connection points. What is it about our process in bringing solutions to you that was different or that attracted you and or has led to outcomes?
Well, it's personalized. Right. And so in having the conversations with Andrew, right, he really is asking thoughtful questions to make sure he understands the solution so that he can pair me with the organization that actually can help me solve whatever issue I have. Right. Versus, many times they can be so vast, right? And so being able to pare it down ahead of time is very helpful because then you get the right person. You're talking to that person from the very beginning versus, oh, well, my colleague, let's set up another meeting. It's like, when you do it yourself, it's like you never get the right person the first time. And so now you've got to have 2 or 3 more meetings to make sure you get the right person in the room where all of that work, I haven't had a meeting yet where it hasn't been the right person in the room. And so that in and of itself, to only have to have the 45-minute meeting or 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you need, versus all of the subsequent meetings because you don't have the right people in the room, has just been invaluable.
Yeah, well, aggregately, that extra 15, 20 minutes throughout your day over and over through different processes and admin stuff or meetings, that adds up.
That's right. And the other thing that's been really neat too is, you don't know what you don't know. And so, there are times where I'm like, oh, wow, there's an organization that can do that. Like, I would love to meet that person, and things are changing so rapidly, especially with technology and AI. They're just, you don't have I don't have the time to keep up with it all, and so knowing that, when I talk to Andrew, he's like, oh yeah, there's an organization that can use AI to do that. I'm like, really? So it really saves a lot of time.
Thank you so much. Really, really enjoyed sitting down with you and so appreciate your investment in HR. It's a challenging environment these days, and it takes special people like yourself to make the impact that you do.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you again for the opportunity. I appreciate it.